Hi, welcome back to the Weekender Show. Now we are going to be discussing the North London derby. It's been talked about as the biggest North London derby for 25 years. We've got Flav here from the Fighting Cock podcast. He's got a big smile on his face. Tottenham, of course, second in the league. Arsenal third in the league. Arsenal 3 points behind Tottenham. So if Arsenal win the game, go level on points with Spurs. Spurs win the game, I don't even want to use that word, the gap, but they widen the gap between themselves and us. How are you feeling ahead of the game, Flav?
Yeah, I'm feeling really nervous. It's the worst game of the season. I mean, away you kind of get your head around it because it's hard to beat Arsenal away from home. But at home, at your own place, you think we've got a chance.
Come on, listen, hold on.
When you got a chance, the build up is even worse.
I don't believe you're feeling nervous because I've been with you today.
Yeah.
And you've had that big smile on your face. Well, you've had it for a couple of weeks.
I'm just a happy guy, Robbie. I don't know what to say to you.
You're not always a happy guy. You've had that smile on your face for a couple of weeks. Be honest, you're feeling confident, aren't you? I mean,
we are going to smash you to bits.
I just want the truth from you, right? Because listen, Arsenal have been in a bad place for the past couple of games. That bad loss against United's kids, let's face it. Again during the week against Swansea. This is a brilliant opportunity, really, isn't it, for Spurs?
It is, but as a Spurs fan and an Arsenal fan, you're not nervous going in. It doesn't matter if Arsenal are bottom of the league. The thought of losing to you lot is unbearable. So I am nervous, without a doubt. That said, I've never been more confident going into a game because of just what's happened this season. West Ham beat us. They deserved it, 100%. Don't really need to go into any more of that than that. Right? Is that right?
No, let's go into a bit of that. Now, Nicky, right? Let me ask you, right? Like, from an Arsenal perspective, we've been playing very badly. What did you do to combat Spurs? Because much as it hurts me to say, Spurs have been playing very well this season. Dele Alli, revelation. They look like a team. They look like a solid unit. Yet still, you overcame them. All right, it was 1-0, but. Everybody who watched that game said that West Ham deserved it.
It was a game where we was just up for it. Every player on that pitch was up for it. A mixture of that and Spurs being nervous. But I think what we've done well in the first half, we let them come into it a little bit in the second half, and it got a bit edgy towards the end. But you'd expect that when you're playing such a high pressure game and a team that could go top of the league, But we stopped Eriksen from playing. I think that's the key. They've got such a lot of good players. Ali wasn't playing, so he couldn't influence the game. Dembele's been absolutely crucial for them this year.
He's injured at the moment.
He's injured at the moment, yeah. So, we knew if you stop him from playing, you cut off that supply line between him and Kane. You've got half a chance. And this season, we're not no walkovers. People can't come to us and walk over us. And if we can get our game plan right, he changed the formation, played 3 at the back, so it gives.
That was it. That was it.
Gives Kane no space whatsoever.
There's 2 clubs that played 3-4-3 against Tottenham this year. One was Watford, and they gave us the hardest game we've had probably, and West Ham. That 3-4-3 system, if you play it right. And you've got enough energy down the flanks, can cause Pochettino's system a nightmare.
Yeah, we don't normally play that.
Ultimately, what you need is when you get to come out with 3 centre backs.
One of our centre backs is injured. Too.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But that checks out as well, so that
What's that Ospina like? Is he alright?
Ospina, I'd say, very similar to probably Vaughan in your team, where he's a decent goalkeeper, but he's not on that sort of level of say. Czech and Lloris and those guys, he's not on that level, but he's decent.
Robbie, how do you feel about it? I know you're the host and you're throwing these questions about it. How do you feel about it?
I am feeling very nervous, and I normally feel quite confident going into North London derbies because, we've got a decent record, even though at Tottenham we haven't had a decent record in years, recent years. But normally, even going to Tottenham, I'm feeling pretty confident, but I must admit, this time around I'm not confident because we have been playing very badly. We're just not performing. Our defence has been shocking. The midfield, I've never seen Arsenal's defence give the midfield. I've never seen our midfield, give the ball away as much as we have been doing recently. And up front, we're just not we've had so many chances in every game recently, and we're just not putting them away. I mean, Alexis is so badly off form. I'm just hoping that this is going to be the game because Alexis has been coming out and talking about, we haven't been performing. I'm hoping that this is a game when he's going to step up. If a couple of those big guys step up, and it's a North London derby, it's going to be pressure on both teams. It's so hard to call, but I must admit I am feeling very nervous about this game.
Personally, I think you can throw all of the form guide out the window, all the guys that ain't been playing well. If you get up for it, and anything can happen that day. Anything can happen. And I don't think the form comes into derbies. We've seen it many a times. How many times have Tottenham been, well below you, and then all of a sudden on that day, they're losing games.
Yeah, just like normally every season. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into the predictions, right? Elliot, you ain't said nothing yet. What is your? I know you don't care about the North London derby.
No, as a neutral, I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Who do you think's going to win?
I think Tottenham are going to win. I've
You
gone
think-
for 3-1.
you've gone for Tottenham.
3-1 Tottenham.
Okay, Flav, stupid question. Your prediction?
I'm going 4-1 Spurs. Could you imagine, Robbie? Just imagine.
Well, I won't be on the
Imagine.
weekend next week if it's 4-1, right? Nicky?
Putting rivalry into it and saying that anything can happen, I think 3-2 Arsenal.
I think he's a stand-up guy, man. I like that, right? Let's get into the next game because you know what? Even talking about it can be a bit painful talking about that North London derby. I am so nervous, I must admit. But really looking forward. It's going to be a great game. Everton versus West Ham is the next game. Now, what an evenly matched game. I mean, West Ham, 6th in the league, absolutely flying. And Everton, I don't know why they're 11th because they are a really impressive outfit. Two evenly matched teams, I think, at the moment. And a bit of rivalry coming out in there. You were telling me about Everton fans telling you getting a bit angry with you because where's all this rivalry come between West Ham and Everton?
We've pipped them to a couple of players this season. Payet was us and Everton. We've got Payet. Ogbono had a choice between Everton and us. He chose us. And then obviously in January, Byram have come out and he's chose us as well. Now, traditionally, Everton are a massive club, and I think they're just getting a bit worried about us up and coming. And in the past, they've always had the better of us, Everton. They've always been that team that always seemed to be above us. And we traditionally don't do well up there, and now they're getting a bit worried. They're our bogey side as well, and I don't think they can accept that these players are choosing us over them.
Evenly matched, Elliot. Look at these records, right? Everton, last 5 games, they've won 4, lost 1. West Ham, last 5 games, won 4, drawn 1. You can't hope for a more tighter game than this.
Can't. The only thing coming into it is, West Ham have got that bit more of attacking flair for me. Everton have gone off the boil a little recently, but they've got this. The fans will probably rule them on at the weekend because they're in that high spirits after this news of the takeover.
That worries me. That does worry me.
That worries me as well because at the minute, and Everton as a club, they're not where you'd expect Everton to be. They're underachieving with the players they've got, the Lukaku, Barkley. You'd expect them to be a lot higher with the firepower that they've got. So with this takeover and what could come, I'm a little worried they could, next season be challenging for top 4 if the owner's ready to plough that sort of money in.
And Flav, one player who's been playing really well this season for Everton, Aaron Lennon. He started off well at you guys, and then he went on a bit of a lull, but he's really come back to form with Everton, been scoring goals, assists, really sort of back to his best at the moment.
Yeah, he spent 10 years at Spurs, and as you say, he had periods of where he was on fire and unplayable at times, given his speed. His final ball and his delivery isn't the best in the league, but he has so many attributes to his game, and I'm quite happy for him. I generally don't care much for players that leave Spurs and just kind of forget about them, but I'm happy to see Lennon doing well at Everton, and he is a dangerous player, but it's amazing the players that had. You alluded to it, Elliot, that Everton shouldn't be 11th. Look at their team and the skill and creative quality they have, and one of the best strikers on his day in Europe up front.
What are you going to go for then? Give us your prediction for the game.
I think Everton will win 2-1.
Everton winning 2-1. That's not a revenge call because he said 3-2.
I'm an adult.
I know you're not like that. Elliot?
I thought it would be too evenly matched, so I've gone for 1-1.
1-1?
A draw, 2-2.
2-2 draw?
2-2 draw, yeah.
You don't think you get the win up there?
No, we ain't beat them in 15 games or something. And no defence, a striker that always scores against us. He scored 8 in his last 8 or something like that. I'll take a draw now.
Even though you're trying to get that 4th place, I mean, a win would be massive.
It would be massive. Yeah, that's right. It would be massive. And I think at the end of the day, we're 1 point off of that 4th place now. No one's expecting it. Nobody's expecting it whatsoever. The pressure's off of our squad. You know, if they finish where they are now, we've had a magnificent season. And you know, going up there is such a difficult game because they really, really always step up their game against us. We ain't beat them in so long. Home or away, that is. He always scores. Yeah, I can see us scoring definitely because Everton's defence at times I've seen less holes in a sieve, you know, and we've got the attacking prowess to score goals, but with our defence being out, you know, as Flav said, one of Europe's top strikers, I'll take a draw now, 2-2.
Okay, draw. I'm actually going to go a draw as well. It's just too tight for me to call, so I'm going to go for a draw in that game as well. Moving on, we were just talking about the amazing players that Everton have managed to acquire. Stoke as well. It's no longer, you know, the Stoke of back in the day with all they could rely on was, you know, Rory Delap and a load of cloggers. I mean, this is a proper team now, and Nautovic, you know, lots and lots of skillful players throughout the team. Playing Chelsea tomorrow, away from home. How are you feeling about that game? Because, you know, Shaqiri, you know, Afellay, you got some proper players now at Stoke.
We've got some.
You also, sorry, just before you say that, you also spent the most money in the January transfer window of any club in Europe in Bala.
Yeah, and we had to get Mbula in because ever since we lost Nzonzi, we were short in midfield. And we talk about all those attacking players that we've got, the Shaqiri, Arnautovic, Bojan, but tomorrow we've got no defenders. We've got no defence whatsoever.
Shawcross is out, right?
Shawcross is out, Bardsley's out, Glenn Johnson's out, there's a couple of others. At the minute, the fans are on about having to play Mamadou at right back because we've got no right back. Menez has been dodgy, Jeff Cameron's been dodgy, and you're going to a place with Chelsea with a lot of attacking firepower. I'm quite worried about tomorrow.
Yeah,
I won't lie. Hopefully it'll be a high-scoring game and we'll just go at them, and hopefully our attacking qualities can come through and we'll be a high-scoring game where we win. But we don't usually get a good result at Chelsea. So
you're not feeling optimistic?
I'm not feeling optimistic. Not with the defensive issues at the minute.
I mean, Nicky, Chelsea, they're back, aren't they? I mean, start of the season we were all having a laugh the way they just fell apart, but ever since they beat us, as a matter of fact, in the Emirates, they've just been on the way up. And players like Willian, Fabregas is back to his best. I mean, what's been the turnaround at Chelsea?
They weren't planning for the manager. They wasn't planned for him whatsoever. There's so much gone on behind the scenes there. I don't think you'll ever realise the full extent of it, but they really didn't want to. It's disgraceful. It's a disgrace. Like players like Hazard, you know, senior players, you know, some of Europe's best midfielders in Fabregas and Matic, just wasn't planned for Mourinho. They really felt. When it goes back to the doctor, I still say that to today. It goes back to the doctor because what we don't realise about football clubs is, you know, these players make friends with people behind the scenes that we don't see, and if you're upsetting them people, you know, you're upsetting their friends, you know. And we had something similar at West Ham with Pardew and Rio Coca, where he was sort of leading a mini revolution against Pardew. And once they decide they're not playing, that's it. They're not playing. You know, no matter what he says and what he does, and he can be arrogant and he's stubborn, you know. And they just lost their way since he's come in. Hiddink, it's just the players have got confidence back. They've got belief back. They know that, you know, this man's led them on to things before, and you know, it's just pressure free now.
Yeah, and the way they're playing at the moment, Chelsea, right? They could still have a bit of confidence in them that they can get a European place. They could also be kingmakers in this running because they still got to play Tottenham. They still got to play Leicester. I think, you know, they've got to play City, I think, as well.
You played them twice, haven't we?
We've already played them twice, lost to them twice, by the way. Chelsea are a team that's going to be dangerous to everyone at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, if they've got... some of their players about talking about qualifying for the Champions League, they've got to win every game practically to do that. And if they manage that feat, then bloody hell, they deserve to be there, to be fair. I really, really hope Stoke do them. I think everybody here, you know, we all hate Chelsea, let's be honest, you know what I mean? And
something else we've got in common, the ticket prices and now this.
All right, let's not.
That's
leave it. So I do hope Stoke can get a result. Hooding, you'd be amazed that if he doesn't get the offer the job permanently. But they talk about Conte. But do you know what I mean? I'm just praying for a Stoke win, and I hope they do.
Right, so you're praying for it, but what do you think it's going to be?
I think Chelsea 4-1. So.
Chelsea 4-1. All right, Nicky?
3-0 Chelsea.
3-0 Chelsea. Sorry, I've got to go Chelsea as well at home.
Well,
I've got 2-0 I'm going to go there. I don't. What about you?
Well, I'm hoping, like, as we speak now, on this day, it's the anniversary when we won one of our only trophies, beat them in the League Cup final 2-1. But even that couldn't bring me to say that we'll win, so I've gone for 1-1.
1-1? Okay, 1-1. What do you guys think with your predictions for all of the games? Give us your predictions, leave it in the comments below. Really, really want to see what your predictions are for those big games we've just spoken about. The North London derby, West Ham playing against Everton, and also Chelsea versus Stoke. Give us your predictions below, and don't forget to subscribe to the Ball Street channel. We're going to be back looking at some more games this weekend.
I am nervous, without a doubt. That said, I've never been more confident going into a game because